Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Parkinson's Policy Podcast, where we advocate together to raise awareness and advance meaningful policy for Parkinson's community countrywide. From Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Capitol, which I was last week, and beyond, we bring senators, representatives, researchers, advocates to amplify the voices of people living with Parkinson's disease. My name is Dr. George Ackerman, Sharon's son from TogetherForSharon, joined by my co-host, Margaret Preston, president of Power Over Parkinson's, and we just wanted to welcome everyone back to another incredible episode of the show.
Absolutely. Well, I have the privilege and honor to introduce our next guest, Senator Robinson. He was elected in November of 2020 and reelected in November of 24 to serve residents of the 37th District, Senatorial District in Pennsylvania, which includes parts of Allegheny County. Robinson was raised in Brookline, a neighborhood in the south end of Pittsburgh, and attended Central Catholic High School. After graduation, he joined the United States Marine Corps, continuing a family tradition of military service dating back 4 generations. Following the 9/11 attacks, Robinson requested assignment to the infantry, ensuring him a spot on the front lines. He served 1 combat tour in Afghanistan and 2 in Iraq, where he was an infantryman. Upon his honorable discharge, Robinson returned home in Pittsburgh and founded his own company, Veterans Medical Technology, and earned a business degree from Robert Morris University and an MBA from the University of Pittsburgh Catt School of Business. Robinson now serves as the chair of the Labor and Industry Committee, where he continues to support workers and businesses, foster policies, and create jobs, ensuring fair labor practices and strengthening the economic vitality of Pennsylvania. Additionally, he's proud to serve as vice chair of the Transportation Committee and is a member of the following committees: Banking and Insurance, Community, Economic and Recreational Development, Institutional Sustainability and Innovation, Law and Justice, and Appropriations. And of course, he is sponsoring the Senate Bill 1158 that would ban paraquat in Pennsylvania. Senator Robinson, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, Senator. It's such an important time in policy. I had the honor to be invited by the Michael J. Fox Foundation to advocate for all really South Florida, state of Florida, but also as a community. And it's just, again, it seems policy is taking off, but the state level is so important. That's why it's such an honor to have you again with us. Given the growing body of scientific research linking herbicide, paraquat, which we talked a lot about, it's kind of in my dreams, but not the good ones, to Parkinson's disease. How can we also have the community help support efforts that you're really spearheading to ban or restrict paraquat in Pennsylvania to better protect farm workers, communities, and future generations as well?
Well, in all honesty, you have to make the legislative process work for you. So you have to be out there and talking to your local representatives. Call, write, email, social media is really big. Get out there and let them know what you think about dangerous chemicals like paraquat that are being used, in close proximities to a lot of homes and schools. We have to ensure that your legislators actually know that it is dangerous. To truth be told, I didn't know until I met somebody in the Parkinson's Foundation that actually educated me on the dangers of paraquat. So once I was able to learn about it, that's whenever, I became passionate about protecting my constituents and all of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Education is such an important piece. I wanted to kind of make the connection to your bill and House Bill 1135. We had the chance to talk with Representative Natalie Mihalik, who of course sponsors the House bill. We talked about the use of paraquat, how it spreads farther than originally thought, and really, impacts neighboring areas. Educating residents and other lawmakers on this fact, as we talked about, is really important, and other details about paraquat's toxicity is important as well. How are you going about educating folks to gain that support and educating folks to see the link between paraquat and Parkinson's and other neurological disorders?
I'm doing it every way that I can. Just like I told you, to make the legislative process work, that's what I'm doing in Harrisburg and with my fellow senators and fellow representatives there. I talk to them at length about the dangers of paraquat. And I am spreading a lot of those facts with my constituency as well, any way that I can. Going on podcasts like this, my weekly newsletters that we publish from Harrisburg, and really any way that I can.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, although out of the darkness, I lost my mother due to Parkinson's, and Margaret's father still battling. Thank you. And I always say it in an odd way, there's a shining light. Individuals like you truly inspire me, and this really, our show, but the community. And again, grateful for your work and all that you continue to do. Unfortunately, again, I don't like that word, but it's one I use a lot. But Parkinson's disease is the fastest growing neurological disease worldwide, with about 1.2 million in the U.S., but 10 million out of the U.S. What steps can Pennsylvania take at the state level to increase awareness, as well as the work you're doing currently with the bill, but also support families affected by Parkinson's and address all environmental risks like toxic pesticides, and also what's happening, in I heard even that our laundry, the cleaners can cause something like that. Now, I'm in South Florida, but golf courses, it just seems that environment needs to be at the top of our, talks around the country.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I have, being a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, I actually have been out for 20 years. Don't tell anybody I'm that old. But, there's been a lot of exposure to chemicals that we're really not aware of. And, that's why I applaud the PACT Act. And, we really stand on the shoulders of our Vietnam veterans who came home and were fighting for benefits from Agent Orange. For the longest time, it was always said, hey, those chemicals aren't harmful to the human body. We know that they are. We know that these exposures have long-term effects. So we have to just be wiser about what we're exposing ourselves to, what the effects they cause, in the long term. And, I just want to really raise awareness and get studies done and make sure that, we have proper data collection of what people who come down with Parkinson's or other neurological disorders, what they have been exposed to, and try to, extrapolate that data and come up with a reason for why this is happening and why those diseases are rising in our society.
I wanted to also thank you for your service, and everyone listening too. One of the big asks, actually one of the main ones, was to support our veterans who unfortunately might have, and likely due to environment, have been diagnosed, and sitting at tables knee to knee to those individuals, and knowing what unfortunately it does as it progresses, although different for everyone, is kind of tough and heartbreaking, but really motivates all of us to continue this. And as a police officer myself, and working with the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, it's again really an honor. I don't think we would be able to do what we're doing today if it wasn't for individuals like your service. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for your service too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. As George noted, my father was diagnosed with Parkinson's 8 years ago, which was the catalyst to starting Power for Parkinson's here in Richmond, Virginia. But we did have a similar bill on the table here in Virginia, 1375. Unfortunately, it was tabled till next year. We saw a lot of opposition. So I want to talk a little bit about opposition from Big Ag and kind of how you're going to navigate that. So a lot of folks here in our Commonwealth noted, well, the EPA hasn't banned it. It can't be that bad. So how do we kind of help those folks understand a little bit more that, leaning on the federal government, because if it hasn't banned at the federal level, why do we have to act at the state level? How do we kind of reconcile that and help folks understand just because it's not banned by the EPA, it's not something that should be banned, and, that really warrants state action?
Well, like I said, you have to make the legislative process work for you. And the legislative process is difficult at times, but it's not a bad thing. So don't get discouraged. but sometimes government works best from top down, and sometimes it works best from bottom up. So when we get a lot of states together, we kind of create a compact. We can sit there and say in one voice, you know, we want to protect our constituents. We want to make sure that we're moving forward and creating a healthy environment for our constituents. So, you know, the fact that the EPA says that it's not something that they want to ban just yet, you know, I would go back to what I said before about Agent Orange. We need to go out, collect the data, and say there's something amiss here. People that are exposed to this have a higher rate of Parkinson's disease and other neurological disorders, and we want to give them a fighting chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the kind of the beauty of our government, right? Sometimes we do need to work from top down. Otherwise, we can go bottom up and have a collection of states affecting change. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And as we've really moved the show forward, it's been exciting and incredibly successful so far because of policy is an issue. But I do know, we both notice, I believe, that the state level is doing so much, so positive. And I hope that with all the states getting involved, banning paraquat, supporting veterans, finding more research, even state level, that the federal will now see it too. And that's, we need everybody, you know, in this fight towards a cure. Well, I
completely agree with you.
Well, I really wanted to thank you for your time. I know I could spend 10 hours and you won't want to be friends anymore after that, but such an important issue. It's one that, again, we're both honored that we had the time today to talk about, but the show truly, I feel, lives on because we'll be sharing it many times throughout the years until it captures everyone's attention on every side. We have a lot of work to do, but we're really proud to know that individuals like yourself are leading the way. Just want to send the show to Margaret for any conclusion, and I'll also thank everyone listening out there.
Absolutely. Senator Robinson, we just wanted to thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service, and thank you for spearheading this bill. It takes folks like you and other folks, representatives in other states, to kind of spearhead this and affect change and call attention to this toxic chemical. So thank you for allowing us to shine a light on it. If there's anything we can do to help propel this in your Commonwealth, we're happy to do so.
Absolutely. And I thank the both of you for all of your efforts.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
I want to thank you, Senator. I don't know if you had any kind of closing words of encouragement for the Parkinson's community.
Like I said before, we're working as hard as we can to make sure that we create this healthy environment for our constituents. So make your voice heard. Talk to all of your representatives, senators, rate your governor, and let them know that that we would like to see a ban on paraquat in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you again, and coming again literally last week from Washington, D.C. It's not that the work began there, it really starts today, and I know that you're leading the way in this fight, and we're grateful for your time. I want to also thank my co-host Margaret, who did so much behind the scenes that I couldn't do this without her. We love her. We love her entire staff, and of course Adam and everyone out there. This wouldn't be possible without you. So I want to thank you again, Senator. Thank you to everyone listening. Please share the show. Please get involved. As the Senator said, Margaret also always reiterates, and I do, that we need everybody together, writing, emailing, social media. It's free. It's not even, these days, everything is just a moment of your time, but I feel together we can really change this and bring important awareness. Well, this has been another episode of Parkinson's Policy Podcast, where we advocate together to raise awareness and advance meaningful policy throughout the Parkinson's community. From literal Washington, D.C. last week to Virginia to the U.S. Capitol and beyond, we bring senators, representatives, researchers, advocates to amplify the voices of people living with Parkinson's. And again, just so grateful for everybody's time. Thank you again, Senator. Thank you, Margaret. And we'll see everyone soon. I love you. Thanks again.
Thanks.